Once you are in college, you will get asked one question in some form or the other constantly.
What's your major?
From people you know from childhood.
What's your major?
So, what do you want your major to be in college? To be fair, that's not an inappropriate reaction. Major defines your college studies, leads to a career, and largely influences your entire life. To make it easy though, you should just start thinking about your focus. No, academic focus for the students. Thank you. If you can think about your academic focus, you will point towards a future major, but not be locked into anything. An academic focus states what you might like to study. Academic focus lets you think about what you do well. So, how do you begin to get an academic focus? Look, I know that many students prefer living in a fantasy world to thinking about what they should choose for a major, and for good reason. Deep reflection on an academic passion makes some of them, well, freak out a bit. But don't worry. Knowing what you are truly interested in will make all the difference in an easier transition out of high school. It can be as simple as just hanging out with friends. These 4 charts are 4 different programs of study depending on major, school, and type of degree. Now, you might absolutely know what you are going to major in college and don't care about things that don't relate to it. But don't be so sure. Over 70% of students change their major during college. During the first 2 years, colleges typically make students fill what are called general education requirements, or a core curriculum. I know that sounds like high school all over again, but it's really quite different. Typical general education requirements may include classes with names like English Composition 101, Intro to College Math 103, and other things in science or foreign language. Except that there's actually a wide variety of courses, and you can usually replace one of those straightforward introductory courses with something you may have never dreamed of before. So your general education requirements will run side by side with the preparatory courses for a major. Look at this typical program in genetics at a large state university to see what I mean. Genetics major with a pre-med focus will obviously be driving towards scientific research and/or medical school. This means that it really has to be focused on the subject matter by the junior or senior year. But look closely at those general education requirements. Anyone undertaking this particular program will still take a wide variety of classes. Hold on, that's not all. Look at this list of requirements for an American Studies program at a small liberal arts college. See what allows a larger amount of choice? Now, here is the complete opposite. A rigorous engineering program at a private university. Obviously, this is much more structured and involves much less choice in classes, which means there is, in fact, more study of engineering. And if that's what you really want to major in during college, you'll get to do it. There's one last thing. This is what is required for a Bachelor of Fine Arts in theater at a large public university. While not quite as strict a program as the engineering major, it's also a significant amount of theater courses. That is, in fact, why it is a Bachelor of Fine Arts. Having choices is wonderful, but choices can also be problematic. Sure, having a lot of clothes means you can wear lots of things. You have to find the right thing, though, because some items might be completely wrong for you. You have to know precisely what works for you, but you look for what will fit you. When you're faced with the hundreds of college choices in front of you, it's best to start with having the idea of what you want to do. It's all a matter of degrees.
Got you covered. See, a circle has 360 degrees all the way around, so.
Not degrees like that. Degrees like what you receive from a college, like you get a B.A. or a B.S. or even a B.F.A. or students could also get an A.A. leading to a B.A.
Then they could get an M.A., an M.B.A., an M.F.A., an M.S., an M.D., a J.D., or even a Ph.D.
Right, and now we need to explain to everybody what all these acronyms mean.
And we can absolutely do that. We'll do that.
Thanks, Kenan. So now you're probably confused about all that alphabet soup. Just have to remember 4 terms, actually. Bachelors, masters, doctors, and associates.
Oh, that's easy, actually. A bachelor is an unmarried man, Exhibit A. A master is someone who is highly proficient. A doctor is a medical professional, and an associate is someone who works closely with another person.
Completely right, but not as applied to this context.
What?
It all has to do with Latin and the medieval university system.
I was right the first time.
Okay then. So, why do we call an unmarried man the same thing we call a standard 4-year college degree? It stems from the Latin derived word baccalaureate, which means a party or celebration. This was attached to any graduation in medieval universities, so those honored at baccalaureates became bachelors over time. There are three main categories of bachelor degrees: BS, BA, and B.F.A. A Bachelor of the Sciences, or BS degree, is typically given to someone who has completed a 4-year college program in math, science, or engineering. A Bachelor of Arts degree is a 4-year degree in a subject that is usually not math, science, or engineering. Some schools, particularly liberal arts schools, will only give a BA even though a student can study plenty of science. A Bachelor of Fine Arts degree is given by a conservatory, art school, or similar type of program at certain universities. Whereas a Bachelor of Arts degree indicates a general program, the B.F.A shows that someone has a particular focus in a creative art. B.F.As are only for students who really want to study art in college, possibly to the exclusion of anything else. Associate's degrees are given to students who complete a 2-year program, usually at a community college, junior college, or technical college. The associate's degree, or AA, can stand as its own degree that leads to jobs in certain fields. It can also be the first half of a 4-year college program for many students. By taking 2 years at a community college, many students are able to knock out required courses, improve their academic standing, and figure out where their academic passion might lie if they don't know after high school. The rest of the alphabet soup refers to various kinds of graduate degrees. An MD is a medical doctor, a JD is a Juris Doctor, which is a fancy word for a lawyer, and an MBA is a Master of Business Administration, which is a degree many CEOs have. And there are master's degrees, which are a little more schooling than bachelor's degrees, and Ph.Ds, or Doctors of Philosophy. Those require a lot more schooling than bachelor's, and the vast majority of your professors in college will have them. But you won't even be able to apply to these for years, so wait on it, and college will help shape that decision.